Well, how we doing, y'all? Thank you for checking out another episode of KD Adventures. My name's Kalen. Today we're gonna go over a little BINO harness comparison. So I've been running the FHF Gear Pro M BINO harness for the last, I'd say 5 years or so, and love that thing to death. But it was time for a change. So I decided to try out Marsupial Gear's BINO harness, and I figured I might as well go on here and talk a little bit about why I'm making the switch, the things I like about this one, the things I don't like about this one, and also go over the things I carry with me every single hunt, regardless of season, species, any of it. This thing goes with me everywhere. It's always loaded down with these items. Some things change, some things don't, but regardless of the fact, it always has these items I'm about to show you in it. That way I know if I'm running late, all I gotta do is grab my bow, grab my gun, my BINO harness, and I'm taken care of. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. So I'm gonna talk about the pros of the FHF gear and the pros of the Marsupial gear. So we'll start off FHF gear. Okay, I ran this thing for a long time. It has stood up very well to everything I've thrown at it. It's been to Missouri, Iowa, Oklahoma, Wyoming, Colorado. This thing, I've put it through the test. It's been on my chest for hours and hours and hours and hours for lots of seasons. And I love it. It's held up great for me. Probably one of my favorite parts about this BINO harness, honestly, is these two little front pouches right here. So what these are for is for the elastic. It's got the tag end of elastic stays in there, you can see. So that way it adjusts how tight you want this upper flap to hold. But it also doubles as smaller pockets. So I always keep earplugs in it, regardless of bow season or not. They don't weigh nothing and you forget they're in there half the time. But they're nice to have. I do a lot of guiding. It's very handy to have those either for you or for whoever you're hunting with in case they forgot some. It's a nice backup set to have. On this side, sometimes I'll throw in a diaphragm call, sometimes I'll throw in a couple of cough drops or like a headache medicine or a Dayquil, Benadryl, something. I'll throw in some different little medicines in there if I need it, or a cough drop, about the perfect size for that. Open up the main pouch right here. You can see it opens up this way. We'll talk about this in a minute. Anyways, inside the main pouch here, I've got my SIG Zulu 6s. They fit in there nicely. Right here, it's got a little side sleeve almost. There's no zippers, buttons, nothing like that. It's just a sleeve. And inside of that, I keep a Leatherman. Now, if you don't carry a Leatherman with you in the woods, I highly recommend you start doing that. This is a pair that I carried with me at work. I cut a live wire and it melted a hole in the wire cutters. So they don't do really good for work purposes, but just as an all-around multi-tool, these things are great. This is the Leatherman Sidekick. I recommend it a lot. It's got a folding saw that opens up without you having to open up the whole tool. And it's also got a pocket knife without you having to open up the whole tool. So it makes it easy and convenient. It's got a side zipper pouch right here, opposite of that little sleeve. And inside of there's always a AA lithium battery. Now that's for my Zulu 6s. If you don't have those, you really don't need to carry a AA battery, but I do recommend carrying another battery for your rangefinder. There's usually one in here. I ended up using it my last trip to Wyoming, and I just haven't replaced it back. And then also, chapstick. I always carry a tube of chapstick in there. You never know when your lips get dry, and there's nothing more annoying than a cracked lip or anything like that. So those two live in that little zipper pocket. Off on the right-hand side, or sorry, that would be the left-hand side of the BINO harness. In this little sleeve is where I keep my milkweed. I've got this thing just chock full of milkweed, and it's a perfect little spot for your windicator or whatever else you like to carry. You can slide a couple extra bullets down in there if you need to. But I find that I like using milkweed more than I do that kind of dust windicator, because the milkweed, you can watch that thing as it falls out of your stand. The closer it gets to the ground, it'll take off and go different directions. Versus that powdered stuff, you poof that in the air and you get just a little bit right up here at your stand at eye level with you. You don't get to watch it and see as it falls out the woods. Sometimes with this milkweed, dude, you can watch that stuff fly for 30, 40 yards if it's clear enough. where it can go and you can see exactly what the wind's doing. And then this little orange thing dangling here, this is an Olight IR2. This thing is a handy dandy little flashlight here. I tell you what, just recharges with USB-C, and it is super bright for what it is. That's on high, and that's also got a low setting. And this thing comes in very handy, especially if you don't have a headlamp or you don't want to turn on your big headlamp. You get to the base of your tree and you're not really sure where you want. I like how it starts off with that low light so you don't accidentally turn it straight to high. So, or if you drop something in the blind or whatever, this little light's really convenient, really easy to have. And since it just dangles there, you don't even know it's there. It tucks back out of the way. I love that thing. On the right hand side of the pouch, got my rangefinder in here. This is a Maven CRF1. I love this dude. This thing is a phenomenal little rangefinder. It's a little bit big, as you can see, but as an all-around, just Missouri or out west rangefinder, this thing serves me well. And it's on there with a, I don't even remember where I got this. I think from Etsy, maybe eBay. I don't know. But this little tether, dude, this thing's nice. The elastic on it has stayed in the same spot. It hasn't stretched out and gotten weak for at least 3-4 years. And I love it. It works out great. Sometimes, you know, you'll end up taking your rangefinder out, just leaving it dangle. And it doesn't, just with it hanging, you can see that elastic does not stretch out a whole bunch. It stays in shape pretty well. So, like that a lot. In the same little side pouch that my milkweed is in, I just keep a little lens cloth. You never know when you'll need one. If you end up dropping something in, you know, the top of your BINO harness, or if it's getting rainy, anything like that, it's nice to have just a lens cloth. In my backpack, I'll keep the actual lens cleaning spray or like some Zeiss wipes, but just on the go, this little dude is nice to have. On the back side, I'll go ahead and unclip this, get it out of the way. On the back side of the First Light pouch, it's got a separate little compartment right here. I like this a lot. This is usually where I put my tags, especially if I go out west. It can hold your phone, but it's snug. I have an iPhone 16 Pro, and it fits down in there. But probably my biggest con about that is it doesn't open up all the way with where it's sewn down these two sides. You can't get that flap to open up all the way. So you're really only limited to about this much space of that pocket opening. Now, if you pull it way out, you got more room, but you gotta think, it's on your chest, so you can't pull it out near as far as you can sitting on the table. So usually all I ever run in this is my tags. But nonetheless, convenient pouch to have. Probably my biggest con about the FHF Gear BINO harness are these straps right here. There's not a lot of material with them. It's just strap, that's all it is. And it's easy to adjust the height and the width of it. It's easy to adjust, but there's not a lot of padding, not a lot of comfort with it. One thing I do like about these straps though is whenever they're underneath a backpack, you don't even know they're there. Sometimes you'll feel these buckles right here, you'll feel a little pressure point, but not very often will you feel that. So usually you don't even know the straps are there. But if you wear these things all day long, you can start to feel it, especially right here across like your traps and stuff. You can start to feel them digging in on you. And I wanted a BINO harness with a little bit more padding. FHF Gear came out with a new BINO harness that has that. They call it the airframe or air harness, something like that. So I thought about trying that, but because you can buy that harness to fit onto this pack. You don't need to buy their pack also. But I also don't like how this flap opens up. So, especially out west, you do a lot of glassing. So what I would end up doing is I'd pull my binos out and I would just leave them out. That's why you can see they're not on a tether, but my rangefinder is. So I would end up just leaving my binos out because I got tired of opening this flap, opening it up, opening it up. And in Missouri deer hunting, up in the stand, things like that, you see something coming in, you want to look at it right quick. If you've got deer up close to you, doing this and then doing this, that's a lot of motion, and they've picked up on that before. So that's why I'm trying the Marsupial Gear, because it opens down, and we'll get into that in a minute. If you're looking for a good BINO harness, I recommend this one a lot. And I've loved it, I still love it, but there's things about it I don't like. I'm always kind of tinkering with my gear, switching things up, and it's time to switch out the BINO harness and try something different. So now that I got everything emptied out of this, I'm gonna put it all in the Marsupial Gear, and we'll see what we think about that one. Okay, got everything switched over to the Marsupial Gear one. Let's get into why I chose this BINO harness over a Badlands, Everly stock, the Vortex ones. I mean, there's a million different companies that make BINO buckets these days. So the main reason why I chose this one is it's got the two things I was complaining about with the First Light one. It's got a wider, more comfortable shoulder pad. So it's got this mesh on the underside of it, and it's just a lot wider of a pad anyways. And you can see there's not really anything that would get in the way wearing a backpack once it's on your shoulders. So I think this one's gonna be more comfortable for wearing all day. It might be a little bit hotter in the summertime because it's wider, so I'm really hoping this mesh works out well. But all in all, I think these are gonna be more comfortable shoulder straps than what's on the FHF gear. The other thing, I like how this flap opens up and stays open. So it's got magnets on it. Right here, it's got 3 magnets across the back. And then on the actual flap itself, it's got 3 corresponding magnets. And that thing snaps shut and stays shut. This one's the enclosed BINO harness, so you can see it's got these little flaps right here that whenever you go to close it, falls into place and just seals up completely. No dust, water, debris, nothing is gonna get into this dude. I like that aspect of it. Same thing for the rangefinder pouch, but it's not enclosed. You can see it's open, but it's got 1 magnet on this side, 1 magnet on the back side, and it stays open as well. The other thing that I was complaining about with the FHF Gear BINO harness is that back pocket. Well, on the Marsupial Gear one, you can see it is totally open. I mean, there's no flap that covers it and keeps your stuff secure in there, but this whole space is open. So sliding tags down in there, sliding your iPhone down in there, slides down in there nice and easy. And this elastic across the top is still pretty tight, so I don't think that's gonna go out anywhere. I mean, it's in there pretty secure. So I don't really think that flap that the FHF Gear has is necessary. But I mean, take it with a grain of salt. They put it on there for a reason. So maybe they've had some complaints of people having stuff fall out of it once this elastic kind of wears out and gets a little bit looser. I guess time will only tell if this one will hold up for 4 years, 5 years worth of work like that one did. But I like this BINO harness quite a bit so far. I didn't put my earplugs in there because I'm not sure really where I want to put them. They don't have the little front flap like what the FHF Gear one has. So those might just get tossed in the bottom down here. As you can see, my SIGs, there's still a lot of room in there, and this is a size medium. On the First Light one, this was a size large. And I know not everybody might have a pair of SIG Zulu 6s. So I've got some Vortex Diamondback 12x50s, and they fit in there with room to spare as well. They've got, I don't know, probably another 3/4 of an inch worth of height, and then width, they probably have about 1/2 to 3/4 as well. So those fit in there very nicely, and then the SIGs also fit in there nice. They're a little bit taller, the Zulus are, but they've got a bunch of room. I mean, you can slide 4 granola bars down next to that joker. Depending on what kind of binos you have, I think you could almost fit a 15 power BINO in these. I'm not sure. I don't have one to try it. Now, if you carry like a 10x30 or something like that, you're probably gonna want to downgrade to the size small because it'd be just huge in here. I put my lens cleaning cloth down on the inside of that. I really didn't have another good spot for it. I guess I could have slid it in the back pouch, but right there's a good easy spot for it. I don't think it'll fall out, go anywhere. Rangefinder, it fits down in that side pouch nicely also. As far as the width is concerned, it's about maxed out on the width this way. It's got room, you know, that way, but this way it's about maxed out. And height wise, no spacers, no nothing needed. It fits in there and you can grab it out nice. I'm kind of worried though with a smaller rangefinder, you might have to add some foam spacers in the bottom to pick it up, because not all of them are going to be this tall and this large. So just something to keep in mind of. I put this lanyard on the shoulder strap. Right here is normally where there's straps that go to your binos, for those to be on a lanyard. Like I said, I don't ever run one of those. I like being able to pass my binos off or just grab them right out of the truck and not have to worry about my whole harness being attached to them also. But my rangefinder, I like keeping it separate, and since it has this clip, it makes it easy just to clip them on, clip them off. Anyways, let's go ahead and throw this one on the old chest and see what the first impressions are. Okay, right out of the gate, the only thing that I'm noticing that's different as far as just initial feel, right here, your rangefinder pouch kind of digs into your rib just a little bit. And looking at the two, the reason why, so you can see this strap right here is independent from the rangefinder pouch. On the Marsupial Gear, it's attached to the strap. And you can see it's wrapped around just a little bit. It doesn't hang flat right on the edge like what this one does. This one hangs just perpendicular of the main bino harness. This one is kind of back and off to the side onto the main strap. So it kind of allows it to dig into your side just a little bit. I think that's something that over time you'll just kind of get used to and you won't ever really notice, but right out the gate I can tell that's there. This main pouch, that's super easy. Since it's got this little tongue on it that you can grab onto, it's easy to just tuck it up under there, fold it back up. If you had a bottom pocket, which Marsupial Gear accepts those, if you had a bottom pouch or your holster or something like that, it might get in the way of being able to snap that down and keep it open. But regardless, even if it's not snapped open, just hanging, it still hangs open. So I like that feature quite a bit. You can tilt it forward and get into this back pocket easier. I know you can't see it, but your phone can slide down in there really nicely. Over here on my side, the rangefinder pouch sticks open and stays open really easy. Makes it easy to grab your rangefinder out, tuck it right back in. It's got these little smaller loops here on the side, I imagine, or for another version of a tether if you wanted one, instead of mounting it up here. I like having mine up here because it's all kind of in line and stays together. So I thought about putting my light right here, but I don't like how it swings and is all open and visible. I'm thinking about tying my light back off to the side right here. I don't know, that's something I'm just gonna have to tinker with, or it might just go down in here with my chapstick and my extra battery. As far as the earplugs, I imagine, to be quite honest with you, I'm just gonna throw them down in there with the lens cleaning cloth and let it just live in the bottom. Either way, there's my review and my comparison of the FHF Gear bino harness, the Marsupial Gear bino harness. I'll probably check back in about this time next year, 2027, and give myself a 1-year review of wearing the Marsupial Gear bino harness. I'm going to put it through the ringer this fall, that's for sure. Seeing how well it holds up. But either way, thank you all for watching another episode of KD Adventures. Sure appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what kind of bino harness y'all like. Either way, we'll see you next time. Thanks.